Welcome to Howay Say. Newcastle United just lost 3-1 to Everton in a pre-season friendly at Murrayfield Stadium. What did you make of that?
Well, we lost because of the eclipse. I'm just joking, by the way. We didn't see anything here. I'm just making that up. Don't worry, I'm not Ty.
I wish we'd watched it.
Yeah, honestly, I wish we watched the eclipse because that second half was absolutely dull. I'd rather watch paint dry. But look, you might think different if you weren't watching on NUFC TV, that it was all bad. It wasn't. There was some positive points, but the second half was a slog. But we started well, opening 15-20 minutes. We had the territory, we had the possession, but unfortunately, Everton were always dangerous on the transition, and we had no cutting edge. That's the problem.
Yeah, fair. It was almost a game of two halves, but neither of the halves were fantastic.
No, honestly, they weren't, because, as I said, after that opening 20 minutes, Everton got a bit of a foothold. I felt Sven Botman and Malik Chow started well in the air, but then Sven Botman, who I feel might struggle on the deck after all these injuries, he made a bit of an error when he was meant to engage the player for the opening goal. Malik Chow instead went up first, and then after he lost the aerial challenge, Botman then decided to engage, and then he got rolled too easily, couldn't get the challenge in strong enough and was outpaced, and Lewis Hall made a fantastic recovery challenge, which he'd done twice for the second goal, but both times he had no cover and it was just too easy. Like, I know the second goal was a pen, but that's what led to the pen.
It for having three of you starting back four there, it didn't fill you with much confidence, I don't think.
No. Malik Chow, like I said, is probably the only one who comes out with any credit. I know we conceded twice, but one of them was only from open play. But yeah, the full-backs did struggle. I think Tyrek George, who got a deserved third goal, he was brilliant for them on that left side. He troubled Leo Shahar a lot, and Lewis Hall, even though he did make a couple of good recovery challenges for a first choice left back despite the links to Man U, he struggled against Njai, who is a good player, but he did turn him inside out a lot. It was right in front of us.
And do you think that's because the forwards were kind of advanced? Obviously Toure and Alanga on the other side, they were really pushing forward. It was almost like a front three. Do you think that's exposed the fullbacks a little bit more?
It could have done, yeah, because I didn't feel that Alanga and Toure tracked back enough. At times it was a case of Bamba and Joe Linton dropping in when Everton were getting in wide areas where their danger was coming from. Like us, we were both playing a pretty high line and wide, us slightly higher, but yeah, I think we're just too far forward at times that when they hit one transition, the full-backs weren't getting any cover from their wingers.
Yeah, and I felt like Shahar got quite exposed in that opening first half.
Yeah, you want him to do well, because you said it during the game, Everton do well at bringing youngsters through their academy, giving them a chance, but we've struggled with that, and you want Shahar to do well, but he doesn't look like he'll cut it at Premier League level. This is why we need a hope we do get him more Dedic.
He doesn't look like he'll cut it yet. Hopefully, if he's in amongst the squad, maybe gets a little spell out on loan, if we do get some signings in, then hopefully eventually he will. But at this moment in time, he doesn't fill you with confidence to be a starting right back at the moment.
No, and that's the worry, because we've lost experience in Trippier, Kraft, and then Livramento is injured at the moment, and you worry if he does play against Liverpool next weekend, that's an even bigger step up in quality. Everton aren't a bad team. They're an established Premier League team with a very experienced manager, but yeah, Shahar doesn't fill you with confidence. Maybe he needs what Alex Murphy has, going out on loan to a good team like Kaiserslautern. I know they're in Bundesliga too, but they've won 4 German titles. They're a founder member. Maybe an established club like that on the continent to get his confidence up.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I totally agree. I think there could be a few more players that would benefit from that as well. But if we look at Everton, we're saying they're an established Premier League team, maybe a middle of the road Premier League team. Yeah. Today could have been a benchmark to see how the season would go. What do you think? Does it fill you with confidence after today?
Well, I think I might have been guilty of having too much confidence after Valencia, because you're like, new manager, it's a breath of fresh air, it's a new era, but then you come back to your bread and butter today in a team like Everton, and yeah, second half, that's the key example. They scored the 2 goals, it kind of took the game away from us. We were lacking that experience. They had it, and that benchmark is we didn't see the ball second half until we decided to move it quicker and done a good move from Stur, Willock, Murphy to Harvey Barnes, who finally turned up and anticipated a ball. But it just shows you the day when you're up against the likes of good players in Jai, Keenan Dewsbury Hall as well, and then strong centre halves in Tarkovsky and Michael Keane. We didn't get much change out of them for a young team.
Yeah, definitely. And when I say Everton are a mid-table side, that's no disrespect. They're still a good team. They're still an established Premier League team. But that's where kind of you want to be. And better. You want to be pushing on from that kind of game. You want to be, convincingly winning those ones. Yeah. What do you think Newcastle need to boost and go on to be that kind of team?
Well, firstly, defensive midfielder. Yeah, I've just done my post-match reaction myself before this, and I've said the same thing. We're badly lacking a defensive midfielder to protect the defence, because when you haven't got something up front, you've got to have something protecting your defence. And Bamba, I know people give him criticism in Valencia. I thought he wasn't that bad, but he was anonymous tonight. He struggled, and that's where if you've got an experienced midfielder, maybe we need a compromise. Keith Downey saying the deal's still alive for Højbjerg. Craig Hope saying it's dead, but if it's a compromise on wages, you can take him out the team, out the firing line, and have a Højbjerg in there who would settle it all down and keep it simple. And yeah, that's what we're needing badly. I'd even say now ahead of fullback, but fullback is still a massive priority because Shahar did struggle. We need a defensive midfielder and a fullback. I'd say they're on the same level, to be honest.
Which is mad, because last season it was kind of like we need another creative player. There needs to be more creativity up top. But then since players have left, it's almost like panic stations now. We need a defensive midfield player. We need a fullback. We don't even need to consider going forward at the moment. It's, is it now a bit of a worry looking towards the Premier League season after that performance, or is it, a pre-season friendly? It's not too much to read into.
Oh, that's a tough one, because you don't want to be too concerned because you look too much into results maybe in pre-season, but it's about experimenting. The manager tries different formations, tactics, systems. He tries his players out, see who's up to scratch, who can cut it in the Premier League. But then at the same time, you're playing a team in Everton who might finish 9th or 10th, and you're like, they completely outplayed with that second half. Yeah. So it is a concern, especially when it's a step up going in against their neighbours next week, and then Spurs, who've spent big.
Yeah, it could be two very, very tough games to start off. And with the current squad, how do you see them games going?
Oh, I don't know. Like what you've just touched on, I didn't cover it there, but it is like a job lot. It's like we've got some of our best players and just went, just take it to an auction, and there you go. Oh, help yourself. Oh, sorry, not an auction, a car boot sale, but yeah, and it's I don't know. Sorry, I'd lost track of what you said.
No, like with Spurs, Liverpool and Spurs coming up. Yeah. How confident are you going in there? Obviously losing players.
Well, Liverpool haven't beaten. Except the Carabao Cup final in the league since the season we were relegated, December 15. That's how long ago you have to go back, and then we went down in the May. That's just a mad stat in itself. Spurs, I feel we've been relatively better than them since the takeover, and we were a better club than them before Mike Ashley came in as well. So Spurs, you normally look at, we normally beat Spurs, or Spurs normally beat us. It's never normally a draw. So normally, I'd say before today, we maybe could have got 2-4 points out of it. I honestly thought we could have maybe went down to Spurs. People might think I'm mad there, but Spurs, they might need time to gel all their new signings in, and that we could have surprised them with a new manager. No one knows his formations. I don't think we'll beat Liverpool in all honesty, but yeah, looking at that today, it could possibly be a maximum of 1 point. I don't know.
So it could be a worrying time stepping into the Premier League based on the squad we've currently got, because a few days ago it was optimism all over. We've just beat Valencia, there's a new manager, all these young players, it's all excitement, and then all of a sudden we've just lost to Everton. It's kind of, oh no, something needs to happen. Hopefully it's a wake-up call.
Yes, yeah, you hope so. Like, I do think Jaisler, he was very articulate yesterday. He seems confident in himself, but not arrogant. He's sure of himself. And I think he was very grounded in that. He emphasised it's a transitional season and there's going to be bumps in the road. He talked about that vacuum, that we've lost international and club experience. We still need that in. So, yeah, I'll wait and see. But I think he'll get it right, but it's going to be a very up and down season.
And you've mentioned vacuum, obviously, with leadership. I think that's what he mentioned about. Who do you see, obviously, being club captain? We had Chow at the weekend in Valencia. We had Joe Linton leading them out today against Everton. Who can you see being the club captain going into the Premier League season?
I think we have to abandon this whole, there's the club captain and then on-pitch captain that Eddie Howe had, because Lascelles didn't play. I think it just needs to be a consistent captain who's going to play regularly, maybe doesn't get injured, and I'd say go back to what we've done in Valencia at the moment, Malik Chow. It doesn't have to be a man who screams or anything or thunders into tackles. I think his style of play and how he can carry the ball and do things silently, I think that's good leadership in itself. A lot of people, I did a poll on this on my channel that it could be Dan Burn. A couple of people said Joe Linton, but Joe Linton's had his injury problems, and Dan Burn, will he play enough? He might be a squad player, so it could be a new player who comes in, who knows? But at the moment, I'd probably say stick it with Malik Chow, because Fabian shares the same as Burn, he mightn't play enough.
Okay, yeah. And obviously one of the other things that Jaisler said in his conference was that the senior players have got to step up a little bit more. Who do you think he was talking about? Is it Botman after his last couple of performances? Is it Ramsey, who I've never really seen him get a grip of a game yet? Who do you think?
He could be talking about Ramsey in terms of pre-season. I felt Ramsey finished last season strongly. When he was getting a run of games, he had a couple of injury problems. He came into his own in the new year. But you're right, Sven Botman needs to step up. That's why I still think we need a centre-half, because Botman's injury problems concern us. When he has a run of games, he's good, but he has got no recovery pace. We've seen that the night against Tierno Barry. So I think he means Botman to even Lewis Hall.
Yeah, Lewis could be
I know Lewis.
Senior player now.
Yeah, you could say, like, in terms of who's left, in terms of quality, who he'd look to for leadership on the pitch, he could be talking about Lewis Hall. I don't think it's on the new boys. He could still be putting it on. Vissa, Voltemada was anonymous again tonight. He didn't light the game up, and he could be on about it could be any of them, to be honest, except the new lads, because they're still trying to find their feet.
And you touched on Voltemada being anonymous. How do you see things working out for him? He started really well, and then he's dipping form. He's getting a lot of stick. It doesn't look like it's working for him.
No. I did have concerns tonight. I did see a couple of my friends comments at half-time saying if Voltemada comes on, can he change the game? But they weren't happy when I left the stadium there at full time. And I've said this consistently on my channel to anyone who listened to us, that I want him to succeed, but he's not given a reason to. Tonight he did come on, and he is, I've said this before, he's a deep nine. He doesn't anticipate where the ball's going to be in the box. He looks sluggish, he overplays it. That chance when I felt Murphy was one of our better players tonight. When he come on, he was willing to try and make things happen. He cut inside, played it to Voltemada, and instead of turning and shooting like a striker would, he tried to lay it off. He's always trying to overdo it a bit too much, and you don't get that time on the ball. He holds on to it too long, and maybe he's not suited for the Premier League. Maybe he's not robust enough.
One of the things that we said was strange was at the end of the game they were doing some sprints. Yeah. He was the fastest one across the pitch.
Yeah. Maybe that's his hair. It was just maybe it's his shorts. His shorts, he looks like Shaquille O'Neal. Maybe it's just the wind up his shorts is just pushing his backside along the pitch. But I'm like, where's that in the game? Yeah. I know you've got opposition players against you instead of just running into the wind, but you're like,
he looked so quick, didn't he?
You're like, where's that in the game? And he does frustrate you, because you want him to do well, and we're paid so much for him, and would probably come out at a loss if we do have to sell him. But how many chances will he get? And I don't know. The proof will be in the pudding if he starts in that 10 against Liverpool next week.
Yeah, that's doubtful. Yeah, I can't say that, because Wissa did look sharper. He looked like he could impact the game from the 10 role. But if we look forward, Leverkusen at the weekend, what would you like to see in that game? Who would you like to see step up and kind of grab the game and you know, demand a place in that first 11 against Liverpool?
Well, firstly, it would be Nick Voltemada. But yeah, Johan Visser, I want him to do well again. Like you said, he was sharp. He did have the chance over the bar in the first half. Got a little bit of good movement, but he does need to start getting the goals. It'd be a good start against Leverkusen. So yeah, they've got a clean slate, but I think Elanga's done well, so I wouldn't put it on him. Touré's doing all right, but I think he needs to keep his balls lower because we've got the height in the box when it comes to crosses. But I'd probably say Voltemada, Johan Visser to get the goals, and even Jacob Ramsey. I do agree with he's ended last season well, but unlike Valencia when Elanga's goal was disallowed, even though I felt it was onside, Ramsey needs to do more too.
Definitely, I think he needs to step up a bit more. You bought him as an older player from Villa, you know, and he should be kind of making his mark on the team and helping to run play and dictate midfield, which for me I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But Villa fans, when I've spoken to them, they rave about him. They said he was great. They didn't want to lose him. I want to see that kind of Jacob Ramsey playing for Newcastle. But Leverkusen at the weekend, Strasbourg on Sunday, Liverpool the week after. It's coming fast.
Yeah.
How confident are you that there's going to be signings through the door before Liverpool? And if there are, who would you like to see? I know you've got a strong opinion on a fullback.
Yes. Well, I know what's moving quickly at the moment. That's the money coming out of our wallets. Now the football season's back. £20 tomorrow for the Carabao Cup scheme. But yeah, in terms of signings, I've said Amar Dedic. I talked about him on Monday in my vlog. Then it came out yesterday, and I was pleased. I was like, wow. But I think, yeah, he's worked with Jaisla. He's 23. He's versatile. He's aggressive. He's on the overlap. He's got 52 goals, 4 goals and 6 assists under Jaisla in 22-23. So it shows he's a goal threat and he's good at crossing. Maybe he needs to work on his one-on-one a bit because Gordon destroyed him in the Champions League when we played Benfica. But yeah, I'd say Dedic. We'll need to wait and see what happens on a defensive midfielder. Palhinha looks like he's going to Villa. Maybe there could be a deadlock broken on Højbjerg. And right winger, I don't think we'll get Musa from Feyenoord. I think he's one who will stay. So yeah, there's lots in the air at the moment, but I just think we need to concentrate with priority positions, full back and defensive midfield, and go from there when we've got a structure.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.